members of the congregation. You are now here on a Wednesday with Easy, the tech preacher. Truth to be told.
It's Wednesday, hey, tell me, are you ready? It's Wednesday, hey, tell me, are you ready? It's Wednesday, tell me, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? It's easy, yep, tech preacher, yes indeed it's easy. Yep, the tech preacher, yes indeed it's easy. Yep, the tech preacher, yes indeed it's easy. Yep, the tech preacher. All the real wired ones, where you at? 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 All the real wired ones, where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at?
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Another episode of Wired Wednesday, baby. We're going to get in today, baby. We're going to talk about why so much hate against Oneplus, baby. What's going on with Oneplus? Listen, I watched the keynote address and I like what I saw. But you know what? You know, if you browse down the social media, you know, people like, Oneplus has lost it. They don't know what they're doing. I mean, they need to go on to another place. They need to go to another place in time. And I'm looking at the device for $699 with an 8 Gen 2 processor and all the bells and whistles, baby. And I'm saying to myself, what's the problem? I don't see what's the
No wireless charge, sir. That's the problem.
Nobody wants wireless charging because wireless charging in the U.S. is fucking trash. Don't do that, Smokey. You know better than that.
Shit, man, I'm telling you, man. When I looked at, you know, the keynote address, I seen it was well balanced. OnePlus didn't talk about cameras for 2 hours. They really went into the design, the features, and stuff like that, right? It made sense. The keynote address made sense, and I really appreciate that. I don't want to see a keynote address that talk about cameras for 80% of the keynote address. A lot of people believe that a lot of people just interested in cameras and cameras and cameras only. Man, I think we need to go beyond cameras, right? If you're not putting one of the sensors in there, you're not doing this. Man, I think you could say all the conversational photography and this, that, the other. At the end of the day, I can have the best camera on the planet and I can shoot a bad photo. Sometimes it's about the user. It ain't about the phone. It ain't about the camera. I see people that go out and spend, you know, $50,000-$60,000 on cinema cameras and stuff look like shit. You know, and you know why? Because they don't know how to use them. They don't know how to set their settings. They don't know how to do this. They don't know how to do that. So you have to put some of this on the user. You cannot put it on the device, right? When you take a photo, it's about the user. You have to make sure that it you know, you got your subject in the middle, you got the settings right, they you know, they pose or whatever, you take the shot. I mean, if you got kids running around and you taking multiple shots and you getting blurry shots, I mean, what you expect? I just think that it's, oh my God, I don't know, man. It's like this camera stuff this camera is driving me nuts. These cameras, because I can pull out an old device and get great shots. But people say, well, what about the dynamic range?
Come on, man. It's a fucking phone.
It's a phone.
It's a phone.
To some people, it's more than just a phone.
Yes, and believe it or not.
I get that, but Jesus Christ, we won't do that. Hang out with Scoop. Scoop will give you all the knowledge and camera advice you need.
I don't know if you saw it, but shout out to the members. I got an awesome video for my members. It was a huge collaboration between me and Horik Vision, and we did our thing on that video, man. And it's for mobile filming, and it can be done. But it takes work. I mean, it takes lighting and setup and gimbals and platforms and, you know, all kinds of different things to set up to do mobile filming. You just not go take the phone in your hand and do cinematic footage with it. It don't work like that.
Absolutely not.
Right? I mean, if you saw the what Samsung did in that keynote address, they had 25 to 30 staff. They had cranes. They had professional lighters, like people that was lighting the scene. There was professional editors there. It was a freaking Hollywood director there. You know what I'm saying? So come on now. If you're not at that echelon level of filming, then the Galaxy S23 Ultra, whatever device that you have to do the best you can with what you can do with it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, listen, I really appreciate what OnePlus did. I want to give them kudos and props. They came in with a strong device at a great price. Everything is about price, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's all about price. And here's what the naysayers say. In the United States, and I know we hear this, and several people say it on Facebook and Twitter, and I see it on Instagram. Nobody don't care about Motorola. Nobody don't care about OnePlus. Nobody don't care about nothing, the nothing phone. Nobody care about none of those. Nobody don't care about them. They only care about Samsung and Apple. That's it. And I'm saying to myself, damn, that means that we failing people. That means that if nobody don't care about other brands besides Samsung and Apple, us content creators and tech reviewers is failing our audience. The reason because we're not talking about other things besides Apple and Samsung.
I think some are. I know I am. Like I know
the
Samsung is not going to be purchased on my channel. So,
but you hear what I'm saying, though. I think for the most part, if we wait a minute. Oh, all right. If we don't explore our horizon and do things like I go back and I look at older devices and I got these spare checker phones that everybody talk about. If these devices that we talk about that doesn't pertain to Samsung and Apple, that gives people other options, right?
Very, very true. It does give people other options, but you also have to remember everything is structured through the carriers to promote Samsung and Apple. So yeah,
Correct.
We can give people all the options in the world, but they don't have it's not readily available quickly with less effort.
Yes.
As all these other phones are. So it's always going to be that way until the carriers.
But they won't because the bottom line is what people don't understand, and it shouldn't be hard to understand, is I've said it I've been on this stream for like 2 years, and I've said it every year. Apple goes to the carrier and is like, look, bitch, I set the fucking table. They do it every time. So I was kind of wondering why OnePlus all of a sudden is not going to be on T-Mobile this year. Well, guess what? They can't be on T-Mobile this year. Even if T-Mobile won't say it and OnePlus won't say it. Because they have dual fucking SIM, which no other fucking US-based phone has as far as physical slots. Plus they have eSIM support. So they give you ultimate flexibility to do anything you want. Apple is running shit. They're not going to let that happen. So they get all the marketing. They get all the nice place in line in these stores as opposed to these other things. That's what's going on. And I don't agree with the notion that there might be some YouTubers that don't. I'm not putting Samsung on my channel. Samsung has to. I'm going to put Samsung in every phone's category. You're going to have to do things that make you worthy to be there. They literally have the S23 Ultra and the S22 Ultra, which are great phones. The Z Fold is great phones, but the rest are basically just A-line. Everything else is A-line. And you'll hear some of these YouTubers, that there's a couple of podcasts that already happened, talking about how good the 1080p display is on the S23 Ultra. I mean, on S23. I'm sorry. All right. Dude, I don't care about that. That was the last year they got sued for having such a bad experience on that. All right. In Korea, in their hometown on their Snapdragon. So that's how I think people should approach it. They should approach it where it's like the S23 Ultra is a beast. It's going to be a great phone. But that doesn't mean that Samsung is great at everything, Right. And when OnePlus comes out with something good, we have to big up OnePlus. If the nothing phone comes out and it's good, we have to big them up, right?
Right.
But I think there's certain people that only want to cover Samsung and Apple.
Yeah.
And this is not calling them out. I just think that's what it is. So I don't want to say like, we're not doing a good job, because I cover stuff on my channel.
Right. I mean, look, and don't get me wrong, we do that. Look, I go back and forth. And I'm gonna tell you, it's crazy, right? When we make videos about other brands, right? Obviously, the people hit you in the comments and say, "Oh my God, why are you reviewing that Chinese phone?" And oh my God, nobody will buy that phone, or oh my God, Samsung could beat it, and all that. When you see that type of stuff in your comments, you be like, man, a lot of people just don't open their eyes to see other devices besides Samsung and Apple. And listen, I mean, if you're a member of my channel, I just dropped a video about Samsung. It's not a good video. It's something that Samsung is doing is not good. But it's one of the things that I wanted to make a dedicated stream about OnePlus, because I think.
I really think OnePlus. There's a lot of things that are good, right? So you had with the OnePlus, because what you'll hear is, there was even some videos that dropped today, right? There's some videos dropped today that the reviewers like. So I guess OnePlus is black. They're back. They're back, yeah. Right? So the OnePlus 9 Pro came out with the Sony IMX766 on their wide angle. That sensor has been widely used. It's on some of the top phones as their main sensor. Even OnePlus, Realme, a lot of Honor, all have that sensor going on. And that was their wide angle. They had the best wide angle that year. So the 9 Pro, from a camera standpoint, was better than the 10 Pro, right? They had 4K 120. Every time I did a video, I didn't get, oh, well, man, Samsung, Apple. What I would get on my channel was, this is the 10 Pro? That shot was from the channel? Oh, yeah, I said shot on the 10 Pro. That's what that means, right? And people were going out and buying them.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, I watched MKBHD video, and he talked about that OnePlus was back. And look, the video was great. He did his fair share of criticism, obviously, but he did talk really good, on the upside end, and he did a fair balance with the review on the device. So MKBHD video was really good. Now, again, I mean, I think OnePlus with the design, they really focus on performance, and the cameras look really good. The design looked really good. I mean, they go give you 4 years of OS updates and stuff like that. That's what they talked about.
Yeah, so 4 years updates, right?
5 years of security.
5 years security.
The price was dirt cheap.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people that were saying, oh, the trade-ins were bad. OnePlus has some great trade-ins, and I think people should stop sleeping on them, because what happens is they give you $200, $250 on top of what they're giving you every time it's pre-order. So you have the opportunity. So I've been using this OnePlus 8, just chilling in the house, smooth as this. I bought this for $250, and it's going back to OnePlus for only $250.
Yeah.
So I literally after a couple of years, I didn't lose any money on this thing, and I'll be getting my OnePlus 11. Now, there are things that the OnePlus 11 doesn't have that the 10 Pro has, and vice versa. And you have to make that decision. So I made the decision to get this, keep my 10 Pro, because it's a great phone.
Yeah.
And get the 11 in addition to it.
Yeah. I mean, look, I could tell you that once, and I think some of the criticism is warranted.
Yeah, technically, I'm not really concerned. I think I've made it very clear. I'm not really concerned about Marquez Brownlee. I didn't think, if he trashed the device or he titled the video,
it was fair.
Didn't pay attention to it. The bottom line is, people that I know have had the device for a month, have been sharing samples with me. And I'm not talking about the people over here, people overseas. I knew this device was hidden. I wanted then when they came out with dual SIM support and eSIM, shit blows motherfuckers out the water. For $699, fuck that. Because the bottom line is, when you are a business person and you're carrying two phones and you might have eSIM, like I'm carrying my Pixel, I got eSIM and all this, I can get my fucking physical SIMs in there and an eSIM. So if I travel internationally, boom, got my eSIM. You know, I got a physical SIM. So I don't have to be strapped to multiple phones. I can actually condense at times. You know what I'm saying? The OnePlus 11 is a tough package right now to beat.
So let's talk about price. I'm sorry, I'm gonna let you finish.
No, go ahead. Yeah, price I thought was pretty good. Yeah, I thought
$699 the boot, right? And if you want the big dog, right, with all the specs, high specs, 16 gigs of RAM.
16. That's what I've got. I went with the 16.
Yeah, the 16. I think.
So 8. The 8 gig last year was a great performer because remember they have that RAM expansion. RAM expansion works very well, and a lot of my phones have that. So. But I went with 16 gig because it was such a good deal.
Yeah. I mean, but it's like $50 more, $100 more, something for 16 gigs of RAM. 8 Gen 2 processor, 16 gigs of RAM, 4 years of updates, 5 years of security patches. Listen, cameras. I talk about this, and I can say this again. Cameras is like this. You can have a $10,000 camera. Right? And you can have a cinema camera. You can have all kinds of high-end cameras but shoot shitty pictures and shitty video. It's all on the user. A lot of people
but I know what you're saying, Easy, but when we talk about OnePlus, it has to be said because if we were talking about Samsung, Apple, or Google, we could say it's on the user. We have to because the narrative has been OnePlus couldn't take photos, right? Exactly. They couldn't take video. That's been the narrative. They've been trashed, right? And people have bought it off of the samples that I've been giving out the last couple of years, right? This guy right here, Mr. Scoop, you know, has, and that's not even their best camera system right there. And it does a great job. And the OnePlus 11 does a much better job, right? So we have to kind of say that because at the end of the day, whether we agree with it or not, people are always going to be saying what those cameras do, right? So like I'm sure if the A7 IV comes out, T is going to ask Sony, hey Sony, why would I upgrade from my A7 IV?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? There's got to be a compelling reason, right?
Right. And that's the thing. Like, you know, if you have, and I say this, and I've been telling all my viewers this and my audience that, because people been hitting me up, be easy. Should I give up my S22 Ultra to get an S23 Ultra? I'm saying like, no. Why? We gonna trade it in for $500? I mean, come on. Don't kid yourself. Don't think about.
Yeah, I would hold off because the thing is, this is real talk. The S23, if we really paid attention to some of the footage, it looked like there was a software algorithm thing that, especially in phones that are from overseas that are just released, so that's a Korean-based phone, they're going to be making updates, right? So don't base it right now. Like you're on the fence. Wait a few, because you might really go, well, now I got to get this S23 Ultra.
But you know what? Somebody hit me, and I don't know how credible this is, right? Somebody hit me up in my DM. I get a lot of emails and DMs about this, and some of the stuff be BS and some of it be great. Say that Samsung, somebody criticized Samsung, called Samsung out, and they hit Samsung up, and they got a response from Samsung, and they say that they are aware that people is very upset about their trade-ins. They are looking into their trade-ins right now. Now,
that's good.
That's good. But
the thing is, they're gonna have to come off those trade-ins. I think that's the thing that we have to, like, we said that right when we heard about it, right? There's no way those are sustainable, right? So you just wean people off because you're not gonna be able to do that over time, right? And then eventually they'll get used to it. It was a big shock this time because there are people counting on it, right?
Yeah.
They've done it for several years, not just several years. They've been giving great.
But here's a problem.
Wow.
But the problem, Sean, is that you undercut your device, but gave a good trade-ins for Apple.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's foul.
Yeah. So typically,
undercut yourself, you can't.
This is the thing. Exactly. So this was the thing. So most of the time when you're in a competitive game, right, you give more for the competition, right? But everything screen because there was such a drastic, you cut it in half. You gave 1,000 for the phone last, you gave 500. So then it just elevated the whole thing. Well, wait a second, why does Apple have such a good, trade-in?
Yeah.
So, but like I said, I think that's neither here nor there. The thing with Samsung is that is not sustainable. They spend billions on marketing, and they've actually started to decrease that, over the last 2 years, right? Because they know that's not sustainable. What they have to do now is go back and really see, like, well, how was this camera, basically this camera expose that we did for the keynote, how did that impact people? We need to find out who our buyer is.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? Because we know who the A-line buyer is.
Right.
Who is the S-line buyer? We know YouTubers will get it. We know people that come to YouTubers channels will get, but who is it? Who are the main people that are buying these phones, right?
Because you know what? Based off the keynote address, it wasn't the average consumer. It wasn't the way they presented.
They presented it like they were going to, I'm just trying to think of somebody like not even techie, but almost like people that buy mirrorless cameras, like filmmakers. It's like, oh man, forget that black magic.
Right.
Just come get this S22 Ultra or S23 Ultra. Like,
but you know what the crazy thing about it, when you look at what Samsung, the whole keynote address was targeted towards, and I had to calm people down because a lot of people say, man, you could do all that with the S23. Wow, I can't wait to get it. And I'm saying to myself, look at the behind the scenes of that video. Look at the 30 plus staff members that they had. Look at the multiple cameras the multiple S23s that they had on gimbals and rigs and all kinds of high-end Hollywood equipment. They have,
and you're not going to.
You're not going to.
You're not going to have that. The bottom line is, and the thing is, that's what I like about what we see with the 1-inch sensor.
Yeah.
They're not playing that game. The people that have 1-inch sensors are just like, hey, here's a photo. I took it. Here's a video. There you go. Upload. Because they know they have the physical sensor size, right? And the thing about it, I hope as YouTubers, we start to big up the companies when they do that, because let's keep it real, right? When we all start getting cameras, what do people most likely eventually go to? I got to upgrade to full frame. So wait a second. So the bigger sensor size brings that better quality and that picture quality and all that stuff, depth of field, all that stuff that you're talking about. But you don't want to big up these, talk about the Vivos, talk about the Xiaomis when the Oppo comes out, and then encourage people like Samsung to get off that rule that they got and put a 1-inch sensor. Yeah. Because if they had put a 1-inch sensor, they probably would have shut it down this year.
I think Samsung do baby steps. They're not
baby steps. And the thing about it is you're giving Vivo and all these other companies time to get better, understand it, and then you're going to come in as a newbie and they're like, they've been doing this forever.
But you know what the problem is when I think I talked about this in my No Fluff No Pass videos. The Evil Twin said one thing that I could confidently believe: Samsung is lazy. Because they believe that as long as the bigger content creators and the fan base in the United States will support them no matter what, it's very difficult for other companies that's overseas, or especially with the carriers in the United States that don't want to carry them, right? So the advantage goes to Samsung and Apple in that regards, right? Because Samsung can say, you know what, I could take a few years off. Get these suckers. I mean, these fans, these people that buy my,
Oh, you stupid.
Have these people buy my phones, right? And I ain't got to really do too much. Think about this. If you look at the keynote address and you take away the camera portion of it, that keynote address is 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's it. The whole keynote address is 10 minutes.
Like I said, basically, I got to give up. I got you. See, this is where marketing and companies miss. I'm in a group with 12 YouTubers, right? Yeah. And we're just going back and forth. I didn't think OnePlus had a great event, but they kept hitting you with good stuff, and we're just going back. Oh man, I want that. Oh, that looks good. Oh, But they didn't mention dual SIM and eSIM. The way I found out about that, I was doing a search, and that was late at night. I was about to go on Gigi Stream. I did a search for an article, and I was like, like you can see the results, and it was giving me different results. I was like, I was like, let me click on. Did it say dual SIM? I hit up Ben's Gadget. I was like, hey man, you just wrote this. He got back to me. I hit up PR at OnePlus. I said, is this really? They got, and I hit up Juan. He sent me a photo of the SIM card and what it said. And I'm like, so we're getting this in the same. They're like, yes. Yeah. I'm like, dude, I would have led with that. The first thing I would have been like, hey man, you know what? All these carriers said you can't have dual SIM, can't have eSIM support, and dual physical SIMs. Come to OnePlus. That's how I would have done that. That would have been the thing. I'm like, guess what? This is coming. All those foreign phones that you're worried about, does it have the bands and all that stuff? We support your bands. We got dual SIM. Business people, you talk about decks. This is what business people do. They're sick of carrying two phones that have two SIMs in it, personal and work. Guess what? You got one phone that will do it all. Go out. That's how you roll, man. But they don't get it.
But see, the thing about it is, if you look at how the carriers is putting a stronghold on exactly one SIM and eSIM, right? They don't want dual SIM.
They don't want dual SIM because they want you to be sticky. The only people that have juice that has a little leeway is Apple. If Apple came with dual nano SIM support tomorrow, they would not say a word.
Yeah, that's the problem
because they don't want to lose Apple, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, they really don't want to lose Samsung or Apple.
Exactly.
That's their biggest.
That's their biggest sell.
I would challenge, and I know a lot of people. We got 90-some people in this stream. When you go to your carriers, right? And I know most everybody in here is tech enthusiasts. They're really prosumers here, right? Y'all guys techies. You don't know about phones and tablets and computers. When you walk into a Sprint, or not Sprint, fuck Sprint. But when you walk into a T-Mobile or AT&T, right? Observe the way the salespeople, right? They go ask you, hey, how you doing? Welcome to so-and-so. What can I help you with today? You looking for a new phone? And just play it off. Hey, yeah, I'm looking for a new phone. I'm undecided. And they say the next thing they go ask you, you're Android or Apple. Do you like iPhones or you like Samsung? That's how they go say. You like Galaxy or you like Apple?
I can't do that. I can't do that.
I mean,
I don't like people enough. I walk in there like, give me what I want and let me get the hell out of here. Leave me alone.
I know, but I'm just saying, as soon as you say I'm on Android, they're going to point you into the Galaxy S23. That's it. They don't care about nothing else in that store. That's it. And they go coach you and sell you that they got deals. They could get it for $30 a month for 72 months. And you got, if you got an old phone, trade it in, and we can put you a new line and they get our vintage Max and all that there. And you could be on 60 months and all that for, $30 a month. And let me sign you up. I got him in stock, player. Let me hook you up.
But I just think it's important to have conversations that say the OnePlus 11 brought it, and to also have the same thing where it's like if you have a 10 Pro, you might not necessarily need to switch to the 11, right? There's some pros and cons, right, with that, and also it is okay to say that. Although the S23 and S23 Plus have improved from last year, the move is still the S23 Ultra.
Yes.
Rest of the phones in their line are not really that. They're not hitting on that, right?
They don't care about the regular.
They're not exactly, but the regular Degler, exactly. The regular Degler is what they sell the most of, right? And they should be better. They should perform like the Pixel 6a. They should perform like the nothing phone, all that stuff, right?
They care less. You know why? Because the profit margin on the $1,600 phone is way more than that $1,000.
What's good, people?
Oh, damn.
Oh, man. So
what's going, people?
LB was like, "Oh, these niggas in here,
they hyped up."
Hey, everybody! Ooh,
that's how it was on Saturday. So he called me Saturday morning. He's like, "Hey, man, I just wanted to call you. Say, fuck you, man." Hung the phone. Like, so damn, LB.
What is
Hello?
what is the
You ain't shit.
what is the Achilles heel for the OnePlus 11? What is the most people complaining about? One thing that I've been seeing is wireless charging, which is dumb. Actually, I mean, I don't understand that part because guess what? They're gonna give you a freaking charger in the box. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna give you the power brick in the box. Boom. And it's gonna be a fast charger to get you from 0 to 100 in less than fucking half an hour or something, you know? Mm-hmm. So what you need a wireless charger for to let it sit for 6 hours to get you to from 0 to 100%. Why?
2 words. Super avuk.
Super
avuk. Yeah. I don't use wireless charging unless it was the real fast charging from overseas. Over here, we just give you just jokes. So I have a wireless charging pad in my car. It's built in, so I use that once in a blue moon. I got a Oneplus charger in my car, so I usually hook to that.
So the only thing I'm complaining about is
it's 4K 120, and that's the difference between the 10 Pro and the base model.
Okay, that's I can say that.
And that was one of the reasons why I couldn't give up my 10 Pro. I use that. If you do a lot of slow mo videos, 120 is important, right? You get that ultra slow speed, right? If you're doing 120, I mean, yeah, I understand. But I could tell you that I have 5 camera systems in my room here, and none of them do 120. And I got professional cameras that don't do 120. But like I said, I totally agree with what you're saying. I know my mirror, but it is one of those things that people that have been rocking OnePlus, they need to know. Just because you're seeing all the samples, you see that they got a better sensor and all that stuff. It is the base model, you're right. So
here we got wireless charging is more important than getting a 100-watt charger in the box, according to some. I told I could
DT. I can't mess with wireless
give
charger.
me the 100-watt charger in the box.
What up?
It's just too
give it to me in the box. Think about that, right? I mean, the Samsung is only giving you a 45-watt charge. You can only max out at 45 watts on the Galaxy. But OnePlus. Go ahead, LB.
I'm gonna say the only reason I wireless charge my iPhone, it's the only phone that I wireless charge, is only because it charges so slow anyway. So
I know.
Yeah,
Once you get used to fast charging, it's like
fast charging,
y'all know I'm a Pixel person. It's annoying to charge a Pixel. When you have all these phones that can fast charge, it's like boom, it's ready to go. I got to make a commitment, to charge this thing.
And I mean, look,
and what agitates me about that?
Yes.
What agitates me about that is the watch.
Thank you, Jay.
It seems like the watch charges in 20 minutes.
Yeah, but the phone charge take 2.5 hours to charge.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, listen, I love the charger
and people that need wireless charge, and this is again, there are pros and cons. Maybe the $599 10 Pro is for you then.
$599 10 Pro.
Yeah.
Wow, that's right. My thing is that I know that I'm going to get heat, but if you say 100-watt, it needs to work on all 100-watt chargers, not just a brand.
I don't agree with that, Charles, and I understand where you're coming from. We're all entitled to our opinions, right? But people that are doing fast charging are typically not going to use the same. Yeah, so they're proprietary. So Vivo is going to have their own thing. Xiaomi is going to have their own thing. But one thing that we can count on is most people, like most average Joes, aren't going to have phones that do 100-watt charging. They're going to have phones that do slow as hell charging.
Yeah.
Right. And then they can use any charger that they want. And if they do, if most average Joes, they'll get one brand.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, even you have company. OnePlus has always been this proprietary charge because they give you the red cable.
Yeah,
plus they give you
that red cable. I'm part of the red cable club.
Right, that red cable and the charger. And guess what? I mean, that is what it. That's a selling point for them. Think about for $5.99, you go get the charger in the box, the fast charger in the box. You go get the phone, the bells and whistles, everything else. I mean, look, I think that's a good deal. I mean, just for the charger alone.
The charger is great. Like I use the charger on my next dock. I use it for multiple things. So I always have a OnePlus charger on me at some point because they're so good.
Yes, it's in the box.
It's in the box.
It's in the box. Listen, I never thought we'd come to the day is that when we talk about the unboxing experience has went down to the toilet, right? The unboxing experience is so bad. I mean, don't get me wrong. I support people that that I rock with when they do their unboxings. But God, listen, the only way I do unboxings if it's a paid promo or it's a sponsored video or something. But if I had to do it, I skip the beat. Nothing in the box. It's really frustrating to do an unboxing. I unbox it. It really wants you to throw the shit in the trash can at that point because the unboxing. You get this box so thin. I mean, it's so small. It's the unboxing. I remember when I
laugh out loud, big ass.
I remember when I unboxed the Galaxy Fold, the first one, the screwed up one. I paid $2,100 for that thing. But god damn, they give you wireless buds. They give you a premium case. The unboxing it fold out and all kinds of stuff going on with it. Man, that thing was beautiful. It was worth the unboxing experience. You're getting the premium concierge service. Remember, Samsung was giving you a premium concierge services, right? You got the premium case, the wireless buds. You have extra. I mean, it's everything in the box was it was premium. You felt like a king when you unboxed that thing, but not unbox the Z Fold 4. It's a terrible experience, and the prices is not that far off from the original Fold, by the way. So don't get it twisted. Matter of fact, the original Fold came out at 512 gigs. They came out with the Fold at 128 gigs. So actuality, you get a whole lot less of now than you did when the first Fold came out.
Yeah,
but that's one reason why we have to celebrate what OnePlus did with this release, right? Because they provided a lot of value, and it also, if OnePlus does well, if Google does well, if nothing does well, that put pressure for just a better experience with us. It's like we were going back and forth. Me and LB were going back and forth. I won't say his name, but he's here right now. But me and LB were going back and forth. And one of the things that we said, man, it's like, hey, if he wants that particular phone, we're going to support his choice for that phone. It's like, it's no skin off my back. The bottom line is, I just want us all to give our opinions, our true opinions about these phones, because it's only going to make it better when they win. So if OnePlus gets a win, if Google gets a win, if nothing gets a win, it's going to make all of us win because everybody's going to get better.
And you know, the strategy that I'm seeing from Carl from Nothing, he tested the waters. You notice what he's doing, right? The Nothing Phone 1, he didn't want to bring it to the States. But
I think that was a smart move. I think that was a smart move.
Because he couldn't sell it.
He got killed. Like, to give you an example,
he got killed, right?
The Nothing Phone, I love this freaking phone. This is the essential phone too for me. And I thought it was just my area, but apparently there's some people that are having issues where, like, I might sound robotic when I call someone and all that stuff, right?
I had some call issues too.
Oh yeah, so there's little things right there. If he had brought this, like, hey, we're coming here to compete with Apple and Samsung, he would have got killed.
He would have got killed.
And this phone is great. Like, I would take this phone any day over any A-line phone. Like I would literally take an A-line phone and throw it against the wall. Like, this is not even in the same category, you know?
Yeah, and see, that's just the thing. I mean, anybody buying what I don't have a problem with anybody buying what they want to buy, but
thank you.
When you get to buying stuff and then you justify it at all costs.
Oh yeah. If you're justifying, then it's like, dude, like, let's not justify. It's like, that we don't need to justify, right?
Yeah, just buy it because you like it. Because then when you get, then you put out false narratives out there to justify your purchase. You know, like Samsung, right? Samsung is low key charging you more for the device than they used to.
Yeah.
For the simple fact that 60 gigs for an operating system.
Yeah.
60 gigs.
One UI for you, son.
Yeah. And Windows.
Loaded as hell.
Windows 11 is only 25 gigs.
Yeah. I'm not sure what Samsung is doing right now.
I actually got a video of my members only. For all the members, I actually just released a video on my members only, breaking down the Samsung issue about the operating system. So if you're a member, after this stream, go check it out. I got an exclusive video that's in my members only. Breaking down this Samsung debacle. So it's pretty bad, but you know.
Somebody asked me today, LB, how come you're not in love with the Note, or are you going to purchase a 23 Ultra? I'm like, you know what? Well, I can't consciously. The only reason I get the iPhone because it's one of one, you know, and I'm always going to get the flagship. But as far, it's just too many choices in the Android market.
Yes, there are a lot of choices.
I don't want to pay more than $1,000 for a doggone phone.
Mm-hmm. There are a lot of choices, I really think it was good when Pixel did what they did, right? But now you've got, even though they're on sale right now, but Pixel at $599, then you have a OnePlus at $699. Then you can upgrade and go $799, and you have a OnePlus and a Pixel 7 Pro, like a 16 gig version. Like, there are choices there that are considerably under $1,000, right? That's good for us. And the thing about it is, they succeed. What ends up happening is the S25 or 4 Ultra comes down in price.
Interested in it. That's right.
If it's reduced demand, that's simple. What is it? Supply and demand. If it's reduced demand, they gotta somehow make demand go. Drop that price.
And look, for what I understand, the Google's having a time of their life right now with the sales of the Google Pixel, right?
Yeah.
So that their sales is way up like it's never been before. Now, for what I heard, that Samsung is actually cutting their forecast for the S23. So they're actually cutting because they don't think they're gonna sell a lot of them. But here come Google, like, you know what? We're gonna sell a hell out of the Pixel 7s and the up and coming Pixel 7a and the Pixel 8. We gonna ramp up our sales forecast because we're gonna sell a crap ton of them. And Samsung like, I don't think we're gonna sell that many S23, so we gonna lower our expectations on that. I mean, hey, listen. I guess they anticipate on a lot of people not gonna do trading. That means that people go hold on to their devices because people just ain't gonna pay for it. They ain't gonna buy. They ain't gonna upgrade. I think Samsung made some critical mistakes trying to influence people to get it through the carrier instead of, that might have was a carrier deal. That might was behind the
it could have been behind the scenes, right?
Behind the scenes deal, right? Maybe the carrier said, "Listen, we need a bump. We need a bump in sales. Why don't you screw your customers with the trade-ins and we go give them $1,000?" But again, be careful with the 36 months. Some people told me that some carriers put them on 36 months. Nah, to each his own for everybody that traded in whatever to get the $1,000. But for 36 months, 2.5 years, just think about you're gonna be on the S26 or S25 by then. Just keep that in mind. I did send Salvage.
Oh, you did? Oh, I'll hit him up.
I sent Salvage a link. I sent it to him.
Okay, Salvage.
He ain't paying attention.
Let me Salvage. There you go.
He ain't paying. Doodle. Here we go.
Salvage.
Why don't you screw your customers over? He in tears. Hey, Jay Will, you want a link, man? I would love.
Oh yeah, I would love to hear Jay Will's thoughts.
But people, man, I would love to hear Jay Will commentary on this one. I would love to hear Jay Will commentary.
Yes, Big House, I agree. That was a smart move.
Gangster.
What up, Kia? Well, see you, Kia.
Hey,
Kia,
Kia, I see
well,
you,
Kia
man.
dropped some smoke today.
Kia,
She got all
Yeah.
the case videos. She dropped it for the S23. Hey, go
You,
ahead.
you
on.
noticed that? You saw that, Johan? Easy called him salvage. Salvage.
Salvage. Savage. We used to call him Savage, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, man. I actually been under the weather for the last
We
week
could
or
tell.
so, man.
We could tell, man.
I've been pushing through, man. I've been making videos like never before right now, man. I've been doing it. Even with me being sick, man, I just been pushing through.
Doing it doing it well.
Yeah.
Doing it,
Yeah, man.
it well.
Yeah, so it was. I'm happy, man. I'm like this has been a good year, man.
But we got Mobile World Congress coming up in next month, right? So I mean, we gonna have Sony about to listen. Did you hear the rumor that Sony, they cater to the professional photographers and filmmakers, right?
Filmmakers, yeah.
They were supposed to have a display on the back of the phone so you could.
That would be great. That would be
because
great.
right now, if you want to use the rear cameras,
You have to
you
kind of
have to buy that little screen.
Yeah.
But what I heard, that Sony going all out and go put a display on the back of that thing. Hey, that's gonna be perfect. Because if you're a mobile filmmaker like Heroic Vision, they rig up stuff, man, looking like Hollywood and everything.
Shit.
Shoot,
What's good with the 10-minute tech?
10 minutes.
10-minute tech ain't been in the building.
That's why I said, oh shit.
There you go, 10-minute tech.
10-minute tech is in the
Doo
building.
doo. What up, Doodoo? I don't see Doodoo. Know we gonna come in and we gonna talk about Samsung. He gotta come in there. He got to take up for.
He
man.
He
He the Samsung ambassador, so he got to take up for Samsung.
I mean, like I said, he's still got a good story to tell.
Yeah.
He just got to get them. He got to get some stuff fixed over at Samsung.
I'm still saying that Samsung. I'm still saying like the S20. Well, I'm not going to do this. The Note 20. The Note 23. The new Note is probably still the most complete device because of all the options that it has and everything. But at the same time, it's like
here's the issue with this, right? The issue is you can get a OnePlus 11 or a Pixel 7 and a Motorola, and you can replicate. You can have two phones. You could dedicate the Motorola when you want to have your desktop mode and do your business and all that stuff. Like it's.
I mean, for 13, well, after tax, $1,400, you could get a lot of stuff.
You get a
for
lot of stuff.
$1,400. You can get your smartphone that's running the 8 Gen 2 processor.
Yeah, plus you can get a Surface, you get a laptop,
you get a Surface laptop. You could get a Chromebook and still have change left over.
Change left over.
I mean, here's the problem with Samsung. I think we are in the era that Samsung and Apple the same way. Apple and Samsung trying to deliver that they are the ultra premium, but at this point, they're not delivering ultra premium. The unboxing experience is terrible. It's a lot of issues with them because guess what? If you go pound for pound, they don't have the best cameras. They lose every blind camera test. So pound for pound, they lose the cameras. So look at pound for pound. Listen, design could be subjective, right? So pound for pound, some people might like the design, some people may not like the design. So if you're going to be ultra premium, why are you skipping on features like, the headphone jack, the heart rate monitor, the chargers in the box, the extra tips and the premium experience that you're going to get when you pay $1,400 for a phone? That's all I'm saying. I'm holding Samsung to an extremely higher standard. It's not even hate. It's freaking like Samsung got to deliver. Fuck all this. Hey, you hating on Samsung. No, listen, I bought all the Samsung devices besides this S23 Ultra, right? I'm still on the fence on buying this fucking phone. I don't even know if I'm going to buy this phone or not.
You're going to buy it.
But it's in my cart, and I'm like, I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet because I'm so disappointed. I'm disappointed at what Samsung is doing, right? Me as a tech enthusiast, as a business owner, as a person that been following Samsung, buy all these phones, spending tens of thousands of dollars on Samsung product. Samsung has not delivered for me personally. They have not delivered.
So I had a question for you. What bothers you about the S23 Ultra? What bothers you about this phone?
It's no better than the S22 that I got sitting over here.
So why would you buy it? Why would it even be in your cart?
That's what I'm saying. I'm not buying it. I haven't bought it. The only reason why I would buy it is because if it's drastically better, or if it's something that is better than the S. Listen, the S22 Ultra got the 108 megapixel camera, outstanding, right? This camera, 200 megapixel, the sub pixels and all that stuff like that, right? But I'm telling you, when I'm seeing, right, when I'm looking at from trusted people that have been sending me emails, my email address and DMs been filling up with people sending me pictures of their devices and photos and videos and all that stuff. I'm not impressed, player. I'm not impressed.
Not impressed, sir?
I'm not impressed.
You're not impressed with the 200 megapixel?
Well, I would probably just hold. Like I said, for you, I would probably just hold off. Right? I haven't been impressed yet with the cameras. Right? But yeah, I think it's gonna get better.
He said, cap that shit, nigga.
Oh, he called you out. He said, if you're a real one, pick up a Sony or a Vivo.
Ooh.
Hey, let me do it one more time for him.
Right. You gotta give him double barrel fingers.
You gotta show them both and tell me I can start firing.
I mean, I think so. I'm really waiting on Mobile World Congress to see what Sony brings to the table. I might, invest in the Sony Walkman 5.
That's what
get it, Mike.
The Pro Eyes.
Hey, so
5,
get it, Mike.
The Sony really impressed Juan. He was always putting his sim back into the Pixel, and now when he finishes reviews, it goes back into the Sony.
Yeah, I think Sony is going to do a lot this year. Obviously, Sony is for the prosumer, the filmmakers, and stuff like that. Me and Heroic Vision, we all, I'm sure he's definitely looking into anticipating on the Sony.
Hey, we just got good news.
Yeah,
because we know where Jay shoots. We know what it looks like over there. He's getting one on Saturday. He's going to drop a video and he's going to walk us inside with video. Sorry to be putting work on you, but I know you're going to do this, Jay. He's going to be outside, so you're going to be able to see it right then and there. It will be undeniable once Jay gets it.
I mean, look, for what I understand, when it come out next week, if I wanted one, I could just go into Best Buy, just go grab one. That's why I'm not worrying about the rushing to get it, because I mean it comes out next week. And for what I understand, Samsung already had them ready. They already sending them out. I mean, with the pre-order still going on, and people find they get delivered. So that tells you that Samsung already had the phones sitting. They ready. So they was already.
I don't think they moving a bunch of units.
I don't think they're moving a bunch of units. That's what I'm saying. I mean, that's why they're sending them out early. They're not moving a bunch of units.
Will it be more fluid this time? I think it will be. I think there is going to be a better device.
Wow.
Will it be the S23 Ultra? Yeah, I think it's gonna be more fluid. The one thing the S22 Ultra was a beast of phone, but if you really compared it to other phones, it wasn't quite as smooth as like if you picked up a Oneplus, a Pixel, when you go around the OS and all that stuff.
Yeah. But again, one of the things that I keep stressing, and I'm
my fault, Jay. I thought it was this weekend. My fault.
One of the things that I'm stressing, and I know I'm talk about this. I want to go back into educating the user base, right? Just because you got a 200 megapixel camera don't mean that you're gonna get great shots. See, that's the whole thing. I just think people need to understand it. It's a user and how you point and shoot and hit the shutter button on that camera. It's how you position your subject. It's a lot.
Yeah, because there's some creators out there that do the comparisons, and I'm like, don't don't find another part of this phone for you to review, because it's not the camera, it's the user.
It's the user, and that's the whole thing. I think people need to realize that if you sit and you watch this keynote address and you saw the way they made the cinematic movie again, did you see the staff members? Did you see all the gear, the $1 million worth of equipment that's sitting over there? If you're going to put that type of effort, if you're going to spend $1 million to get this footage, then spend $1 million, right? But don't think that you're going to have a phone in your hand doing this, going left or right, that you're going to get the same kind of footage. It's not going to happen. Hope y'all ready for Savage, y'all, because let me bring him in.
What up, Savage?
What up, Savage?
What up, Savage?
What up, folks? What up?
I see you say you had a great announcement, sir. And,
you got an announcement? Okay. What we talking about? What we talking
what's
about?
happening?
Make him big. Make him big.
Yeah, make it big right quick. What's up, man?
So,
there you go. A 10 hot.
Morpheus.
I'm gonna be stepping out of the laboratory and into the courtroom, because when I start streaming again, I want to start letting people know that the court of common sense is now open.
Okay.
Return of the court of common sense
right now.
So you gonna stop doing code and all that?
We're doing court.
We're doing court. Okay.
Savage Scientist will be putting the robe on and assuming the position as judge.
Well, hold on.
Okay.
I know he said he completed his thought.
Okay. All right. Okay. As judge, let it slide.
Handling all type of issues here as far as tech. So if someone have a problem with someone in the tech field, then let's settle it in my court.
Okay.
And
so let me get this straight. You're gonna have like a court seat. If somebody have a difference of opinion about tech,
so it could be like me and Easy going against each other. Like he's talking about LG V60 and I'm talking about Sony Xperia.
So yeah, you know what? And we're gonna settle that on my show.
If that's the case, I need to settle something with Mims, because we debate on everything.
Yeah, that would be great. That could be the first debate.
If I tell Mims the sky is blue, he'll say not at nighttime.
Okay, let's do it. So let's have the first people will be LB and Mims. Mims, you good?
Mims go. He gonna stick his tail between his legs. He
ain't
gonna
show up.
Ass
nigga. That's a whole bok
he
ass
ain't gonna show up. You know.
Bok ass nigga.
That's a cool concept.
So I look at it like this. So
Judge Salvage.
Art Dog said he can't wait.
How would this thing work? So if you go back to any of my old videos, especially some of my earlier reviews, I presented case numbers, case files. So it'd be the same thing, highly structured. When I used to do reviews, I used to look at 5 categories. Or what's that for? X categories. I looked at the design, the usability, the aesthetics, and some other stuff. I have to go back and find that paper, but that is how I used to judge these phones and everything else. So it's the same thing. So I'm gonna be looking at people arguments, and I would like to call people out. Hey, people in the chat, y'all gonna be part of this thing too. So your opinions matter in my court. So I would also have some justices, and that's people chosen in the chat also who want to come in the stream, who want to actually be part of the jury. So instead of being a jury, you'll be a justice. That name might change as I nail this thing together, but this will be a court style, and it's not a debate. This is really, we're going to examine your arguments logically, and we're going to have one decision at the end of the night. So I'm not really going to judge anything. It's going to be up to the justices and the chat to be the judge. So the only way I'm going to come in this thing will be, let's say if the judges or the justices decides with one thing, so they decide with situation A, and the chat going with situation B. That's when I will stop being the prosecutor, and then I will be the judge. And then I'm gonna be like, hey, we have a hung jury, so just like real court, which this is gonna be real court. I'm gonna make a decision. So,
Okay, so
that's
let me
it.
ask you a question. When you say you're gonna put the robe on and everything, what about the background? You can't be in your kitchen and everything with the robe on trying to do bullstyle, you know?
Hey,
you gotta get a green screen or something.
Hey, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it to court. It ain't gonna be green screen though. It's gonna be the Swampland Court of Justice.
You sure you gonna have internet in there?
Swampland.
You see, I hear that nothing.
Hey, I think I have my what is it? I had it over here somewhere, but I actually have a nameplate.
I hear that nothing phone, Barry. I hear that nothing phone.
It's not the nothing phone. I copied it all to my Pixel.
Okay, yeah. Because that's a good ringtone.
So
That sounds really good.
acting in the comments, you gonna actually
They all
be
sound really
in the
good.
courthouse?
Hey, we have good we have some good commentary going on in the comments there.
So somebody asks, are you gonna actually be in the courtroom?
You know, I did walk in the courtroom and film some footage. So
you didn't go to jail.
Green screen your shit, nigga. Green screen.
But hey, you know what? What I'm doing here, in the governor's right here
in
the governor's office. Don't worry about it looking like a court. we got that taken care of already.
For sure.
Man, this is gonna be cool.
All
man.
right, there you go, man.
I'm excited about this. Cool.
It is what it is. Look, this. All right, so here's. I have a question for you because see, here's what you do. You start something and all of a sudden you stop doing it. Are you committed to this?
You gotta be committed,
program?
man.
You gotta be committed.
LB said he'll be on there with D-Mims.
Are you committed to it?
Hey, I'm committed long as the audience is there.
You know, we gonna be there. If you gonna do, we gonna be
I'm
there.
gonna tell you this much. When I first started doing my live streams, long time ago, before I even met you, it was just me
and was there audience? Yeah, audience wasn't there.
The audience wasn't there, and I kept going. I had one person watching me, and it was me watching myself because I had one of my phones on watching my live stream. So I had zero people watching me, right? So, but I kept doing it. I kept doing it for a very long time, obviously, right? So I say that to say this is that the commitment and not giving up on it is something that you have to think about because I mean you started doing the pregame show on Friday and all of a sudden you stop. And so it's a commitment. It's a commitment thing that we got to make sure that you on board on because you'll get our support.
So once this thing starts, it's gonna start slow. So it's gonna be a month. It's
gonna start slow, but I'm just saying
it's gonna be once a month. Once a month that'll give me time to set everything up. And my channel is still gonna be coding programming. But as I start progressing more into cybersecurity, it's gonna be me talking more about what's really going on. I'm not gonna really spend a lot of time on judging phones and stuff, but if there is something on the usability side, like let's say an app comes out that make it so I could end the phone call by triple tapping the power button, which I was able to hack and do, then I think that is something worth talking about. But I'm not gonna try to talk about something that's already oversaturated and like talking about how beautiful a phone is and all that stuff. I'm gonna leave that up to the experts. I'm a computer scientist, and if I have to judge somebody's argument, I'm gonna come at it from a perspective that I'm an expert in. So I don't know cameras well, so I would not be a person who would go after cameras. But when it comes down to the chips and the way this whole thing with using RAM and overuse of resource management.
You probably talk about that.
That's my zone.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Okay.
All right.
So the whole user experience, that's what I'm going to focus on.
Okay.
As a program.
All right.
I mean, that's a pretty cool concept, man. That's a pretty cool concept.
Yeah.
Quarter common sense.
Sense. That's pretty cool.
This thing is open to critiques and all this. So, hey, I'm going to, just like a paper, I'm going to leave it open to peer review.
There you go.
Yeah.
Man, I appreciate you coming aboard. I give you nice time so you can let everybody know what's going on with you. We go put your channel link in the description and let people come and check you out, and we gonna keep everybody updated on.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
When you start the program, and so people can come and check it out, and we all go, support. That's.
Hey, I talked to Barry about this a little earlier too.
Okay.
So I broke the news to him. I mean, I've really been thinking about this for probably 3 years.
3 years?
Yeah,
3 years in the making.
Damn, bro. That's a long time to think about something.
Oh yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. So if you go back, I mean, just go back to.
No, I'm not laughing at you, Sal. I'm laughing at Easy.
Yeah.
3 years, god damn! But shit, I was halfway almost. I was doing about getting ready for my capstone, man, in my third half year, man, of college, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, yeah. But I had to work on a master's degree.
Yeah.
And moving out.
Yeah, I agree, Haas. That's a dope idea.
Oh yeah, I appreciate everybody. So if you ready for this? Okay. I'm about to curse. So hey, you know what? And I can come on here and I cuss, bro. I mean, I don't have to cuss all the time.
So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm about to put your feet to the fire, sir. It's
you gonna buy him a Fold 4?
No, fuck all that. It's the 8th. It's February 8th, sir. It's February 8th. Listen, let me look at my calendar here. Sir, I want to see something happen.
You got him, boy.
We got to see something happen at least by the 24th, which is a Friday or Saturday. The Saturday is 25th. That gives you 2.5 weeks, sir, to put something together. Okay?
Let's do it.
Okay.
So,
we're gonna be a Barry. And we'll help you out. If you need to get guests or whatever. I mean, we'll work something out. So the 25th. Just put it down. Hold on. If Gigi doing it, if one of y'all doing AR members only that day, we gotta see.
Hey, we'll find out. But we'll
find out. We'll get all the details. But if we don't do that, it'll be 6 months before you start your first.
Yeah, you can't do it. You can't. You made the announcement. You gotta follow.
You made the announcement. Hey, you gotta.
I already made an investment into getting this setup going.
You got the robe already? You didn't call, you went to Amazon and got the robe?
I'm gonna be in the lab coat.
Oh shit. Oh, there you go, man.
Hey, I'm still a scientist.
Yeah, you're right. All
right, man. So, as a scientist, it's everybody's opinion counts. So I'm gonna look at stuff as a scientist, scientifically, and most likely algorithmically. So I'm gonna look at stuff the same way you would if you was talking to, well, I can't compare myself to a doctor, but a doctor, we're not going to sugarcoat anything. We're going to tell you exactly the information you need to make a decision. Mechanics, I think mechanics are
BG. It's a different take. It's pretty dope.
But you know what? Since I got you on, man, before I let you go, I got a super chat here. This is
Leo dropped too. Yeah.
This is exclusive, man, from you, man, right here. Thank you very much for the $4.99 holla. I really appreciate that. Yes,
all right, peace out, Sammy.
All
right, man. I appreciate.
No, I was just saying peace out to Sammy. Sammy said he's got to go.
All right, yeah.
No, that's between you and Easy.
Yeah, I mean, you want to come with. So let me ask you. Let me ask you a question about the S22, the S20. I'm sorry, not the S20, the Pixel. I'm not saying the Pixel, the OnePlus 11, sir. What's your thoughts about it?
Well, I didn't get a chance to check out the announcement.
Okay.
But so my thing. So you know what? Hey, what makes this phone better than any phone for the same price range?
Hey, okay, here we go.
Does it offer an additional button on the side?
No, I mean they actually brought back the alert slider. So they took it away. They brought it back. The alert slider.
So they didn't take it away. So what happened was Oppo and OnePlus said it would only be on their flagship devices and it wouldn't be on their performance devices.
Is the music too loud?
Not that not music. Oh man, it doesn't sound loud to me. Yeah, maybe turn it down. I thought, okay, yeah, I didn't. I thought it was just.
She said the music too loud. Okay.
Yeah, it does that. Like, I went back on one of my streams and I watched it and I was like, yeah, that music was loud.
Oh, okay. It's very loud. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Wow, it doesn't sound loud to us.
It don't sound loud
just
to
see
us.
if you can turn it off. See if you turn it off. It's bothering people.
Yeah, if it's bothering me, turn it off. I didn't think it was. Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all.
Yeah, it's very low on our end, but yeah.
Yeah, it's very low now. I didn't think it was bumping to the bump to the bump to the bump.
So, let me take a look at the alert slider.
Booty Talk 13 music. What you know about Booty Talk T? He's stupid as hell.
Man, you know what? I gotta get BG Tech Life back on my stream, man. Man, when I had him on that stream,
come on, Kyrie, night,
stop it. That one night we had on stream, y'all got to go back and look at that stream I did when I had BG Tech Life. He was sleeping and snoring on my stream.
Kyrie. Hey,
he was asleep. He would sleep. He was certain that head was healed over and sleep. That was so funny, man. I had went live right after Team 100.
Holy crap!
And he was
live,
drunk.
yeah.
The alert slider is one of the best things I read about.
The alert slider?
The alert slider.
We just gonna ignore. We just gonna ignore the dual sync capability.
I could admit that I'm not a phone guru. And Easy always said he wanted people on his streams that's not phone gurus.
What are you talking about? I don't know what you're saying. Like,
it's my first time actually seeing what's the big deal about the alert slider. And now I'm like, hey.
Oh yeah, the alert slider's dope.
This is the type of stuff that'll make me buy the OnePlus.
Mm-hmm. The OnePlus is dope.
Stuff like this. Being able to mute the phone by having a physical button. Mm-hmm. You know I love my physical buttons.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the type of stuff that I'm talking about. So if I was in an argument and somebody said, hey, alert slider, a phone with an alert slider, you could prove that's a useful feature, and compare that feature to some useless curved screen, then I'd be like, hey, you can't do anything with a curved screen except make accidental touches, but the alert slider, you actually could do stuff with it. Now, an alert slider on a curved screen phone with this type of stuff might be perfect for Samsung, but they not. I mean, I remember earlier, the whole thing was about how Samsung is not really. This isn't the Samsung that we know back in the day whenever they was putting every feature that you could think of in a phone. It's like they slowly been taking everything that they can.
I don't know. With 90 gigs, with not 90 gigs on the system right now, they all putting every.
So one thing I will say, because I didn't want to make this into a Samsung, right? Because like I said, I think Samsung really did. There are different use cases, right? And I don't want people to think that it's coming across as bashing Samsung, but Samsung put out a great phone, right?
Yeah.
But when there's stuff that is actually happening, you should mention it. Like, we need to say, Samsung, if you're offering a 128 gig, give me back some of my memory back. Also, people need to be aware that, and it's going to be fixed quickly, just like what happened with iPhone. It will be fixed quickly. That right now the eSIM is being activated. It's like a ghost activation from the factory, and some people are getting their devices, and it's disabling their real SIM, right? So that's going to be something that they're going to fix, right? But I think sometimes we will point out things that might not necessarily be what we need.
Right.
And it almost seems like we're dismissing like the S23 Ultra is a bomb phone. It's just at some point they're gonna have to start to lower the price, right? Because there's so much competition lower, right?
Well, but you know, the thing about it, Barry, one of the things I do, if Samsung wants to be the high-end premium $1,600 to $2,000 company,
then you got to bring everything. You have to bring everything. Like you can't make an excuse for why you don't have a 1-inch sensor. Like
exactly.
if I'm paying $1,600, I want the 1-inch sensor on that whole back panel. I want the wide angle to be 1-inch. I want the telephoto to be 1-inch. I want the main sensor to be 1-inch.
Hey, BG.
So,
oh yeah, that's
BG.
Hey, so what about this?
go ahead, Jay. Hey, Jay,
I would
you can
rather
ask.
S Pen in the Fold 4 rather than a 1-inch sensor.
Hey, boy.
But wait.
Yeah, and that's what this is about, right? There are different use cases, and that should be celebrated, right?
Yeah.
So I totally agree.
Jay, I sent you a link, Jay Will, if you want to.
Thank you, BG.
They should figure out a way to do both of them. I mean, they Samsung. I mean, they ain't gonna say nothing when one of these Chinese manufacturers out here.
Can't save it now, boy.
They're already doing it, bro.
Yeah, we talking about when they. If Oppo decides to put an O pin, whatever they decide to call it, in their phone, and they fold the phone. Open, yeah. Yeah, then they're gonna just call it open.
Hold on.
That's how I got that heat. Let's go.
Much BG Tech Life for the $5 holla, sir.
$5
Listen,
holla,
hit you up, man. I mean, I got to get you on one of my podcasts, man. Say, give me that 1-inch sensor.
Samsung gonna be like, we do have a 1-inch sensor. If you combine,
this is what he wants a clarification. So go ahead. So he wants to see if people just are trying to trash
Jay
him.
Will, I'm gonna see you a link to a video, bro. I broke it down in the video. But yeah, it's
But I didn't think the S22 Ultra. I thought the S22 had. I could have sworn when this came up, people will notice that like on their S22 Ultra, it might have been like 45 gigs.
Yeah, it's 45 gigs on my S22 Ultra, but it's it's
I'm about to see how
about
big my
80
system is
gigs,
right now.
80 gigs on my on the S23
80
Ultra.
gigs.
60 to
Oh
80
my god,
gigs.
I wouldn't. Man, come on now.
60 to 80 gigs on the on
No,
the-
I cut the shit.
No, he
I don't
said
wanna see that.
he wants
I
you to
don't
prove
wanna-
it to you now. Jay said
I
open
don't
it right
wanna
now,
see
Eric.
that, sir.
huh?
He doesn't believe you. He wants you to open it now.
Yeah, he said open that phone right now, nigga. Open that phone right now.
He goes,
Box.
I don't believe you, sir.
My
I would
system-
open mine, but
I don't
mine
believe you.
turned into $1,085 as a trade-in. Sorry.
Hey, then. Sorry. What did we say, Barry?
Toodles.
Toodles.
So he said he has his S22 Ultra right now open and it's 91 gig.
Oh, that's trash,
Jesus.
Jay.
So he doesn't
God,
believe
it's-
that yours is 45.
That's trash hill, though.
He might have some
That's
he might
bloat
have
Hilda.
some
I guess
Trash
it
hill.
varies.
I guess
it
bloat
varies,
Hilda.
Bloat Hilda.
I guess it varies.
because I always empty
like
my
it big,
my
not that
trash because I want to do the trash also account for that.
Yeah.
Trash. Wait, what?
The trash could be part of your part of the system.
Oh no!
file.
Oh yeah! No! Jay. I don't think people were making a big deal, but if it's the same, it's not a big deal. I think people just were probably surprised when they noticed that it was different, right? So if you think about it, they always look for something to talk about, right? So with the OnePlus 11J, there were a lot of people putting out all the stuff. Like to give you an example, there was one person that was like, "Oh, it has Gorilla Glass 5." It's basically like saying it was the only phone that has Gorilla Glass 5. They talked about when Gorilla Glass 5 was first introduced. Why would anyone buy this phone? All that stuff. And then I responded with, well, the majority of Oppo phones, all Realme phones. I just went down the list, was just like kicking the ass with what phones had Gorilla Glass 5, right? So sometimes you do see that, but
Gorilla Gas? You said
Gorilla Glass.
5? Oh, I thought you said Gorilla Gas 5. Yeah.
So what was
Kimmy,
your
we
saying?
right
What was
here.
your saying?
We're right here, Kimmy. Gorilla Gas 5.
No, she thought I said Gorilla Ass.
Oh, Gorilla Ass. Oh,
What was your
pause.
saying,
Very
Eric?
accurate.
Yeah. Just got some. Jay Will just sent me a screenshot of something.
Oh, yeah, but what's yours at? Like, look, I trust Jay.
Yeah. We want yours.
Yeah.
Sorry, Gwendolyn.
Gwen, she collecting them pearls.
Yeah.
She said she running out of pearls. Like,
Yeah, Farhan, that's gonna be a dope phone. That MK2 Pro I.
CW.
where's Spec Tech at?
So Jay Will just sent this one. Let me see. Let me get this in that one.
Yes. Gas.
I guess they're justifying why they're putting 512 gigs of internal storage on.
Understand, BG. I mean, no one's hating on you. I mean,
God, I can't find it.
You ain't like the white boy? You ain't like that white boy?
no, the white was nice. He got bored of it, so he's like, "Hey, man, let's get something different." Hey, he can. He's BG, man.
Hey,
So.
He BG Tech Life. He can do that.
He need that Baltimore purple.
Hey, that Parkland strut, BG.
God, why I can't.
Thank you, Trenton. That was my response to all those people. I was like, at the end of the day, Victor's for all of it. Scratches at a level 6 with deeper grooves at a level 7. That statement hasn't changed.
Hey.
Yeah.
God, I can't find it. Don't you hate them? You know what? I could do a search for it.
Oh, my fault. Park Heights. I don't know. I said
Park Heights.
Yeah, Park Heights.
Is that a city in Orlando?
He said, "Get it right."
No, there's a Baltimore. It's Baltimore.
All right.
Now we have Washington Heights.
Be more. Washington Heights.
Hey, if you're from New Orleans, we had Kennedy Heights.
He said it's under device care, Eric.
That means
You go ahead with the hello.
Who this? New phone. Who this?
BG said, "True, big house, but I can't skin more storage."
That is true, Sam. Well, you can do Samsung offer that?
What?
Virtual storage?
No, they wouldn't have any place to get it from.
Oh wow.
Where you gonna put it?
Yeah, because they
You can put it in the cloud.
Stop it. Can't have cloud-based RAM, sir.
Oh, thank you. Deep damage on alpha. Yep.
Is a cloud-based RAM. Somebody gonna do that shit, Scoop.
And if someone's selling it to you, I'm gonna tell you don't buy it.
He's a cloud-based RAM.
I never knew that the audio was
never,
that loud.
Johan.
I never knew that the audio was that loud.
Unless they go with Sapphire.
Yeah, I never noticed it either until I went back and watched my live stream, and then I was like,
so we might not have to do audio. It might just be
yeah,
it could be StreamYard
on one.
Yeah, because I have mine on like one, and I've been doing it every week, and I actually go back and I
yeah, but I don't think anyone's complaining until this week.
Mm-hmm.
I see you, LB.
LB
got
that fresh cut, man. Look at LB got that fresh cut.
Crispy and clean.
That's where your high class business owner.
T, where you at, T?
Man, that's where your high class business
wave
owner,
is getting
man.
at you, boy.
Hey, getting at you.
That's an old cut. That's an old cut. I need a cut now.
He said his old waves is better than your new waves.
Oh,
didn't say all that.
my God, Jay Williams.
Says,
What the heck?
prepare to ship.
Let me see. What the
He
heck?
said I got some extra RAM in
What?
my
Picture
car.
is the reason why I
Ah,
have
you
my
stupid,
wings. Thank you very much. Well, I mean, I appreciate you. If you use my my links, it's even better.
Okay, it's preparing to ship.
He's prepared to ship. That's what's up. And when the ship is gonna be about 2 days, 1 day, 2 days, to get to you.
Yeah,
They gonna get these
tall,
devices
sir.
out to you fast, man. So yeah, have it by Monday. Today what, Wednesday? Yeah, have it by Monday, bro.
No, but I don't know.
See, watches. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's Mr. Two Watches himself. See, Jay will have 2 watches. So he have his Apple Watch and he have his Samsung watch on.
He wear both of them at one time.
He wear both of them at one time. That's when you big baller, man. See, I'm not up there with Jay, man. Jay up there got 2 watches on.
I can't wear 2 watches at one time.
The notification be buzzing. I can imagine every
Look,
time.
one of them, the Apple Watch only gonna last until 10 o'clock at night anyway.
See a Pixel Watch and the Apple Watch. Do you really have to change the band on that because people was complaining about the Pixel bands are too short.
The Pixel
Get a
band,
larger one. Get a larger band. That's all they got to do.
Larger band, yeah. Okay.
I don't like these silicone bands that come with the watches.
Oh yeah, I got to have.
I
gotta
took
have
that shit off immediately.
I got to have the good
break out.
stuff.
Yeah, same thing here.
Yeah.
breakout
You got the
breakout
good stuff. That's what I
band.
got.
Yeah.
I'm on
I got the
the
silver one and the
subcase.
black one.
I'm
Wait,
on
what
the
you got?
subcase. I got the subcase for the Pixel.
Stainless steel and the black one.
But
That
damn,
look
bro,
like a G-Shock.
that watch look big on your
It
head.
look big.
Mhm.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's
Because he's
right.
got small wrists.
Yeah, yes,
You
small.
know what I mean? So
I had that. LaShawn, I had that. I just don't like it. I sent it right back.
Okay.
you didn't like
Yes,
it?
the subcase.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. It looks like a big piece of plastic around the watch.
Hey, that's basically.
Can you
that's what
find?
it
Can you
is.
find what yours is? Easy.
Wait,
I do like that
was-
linen
I
band.
was
though,
looking for.
LB.
I was
You're gonna have to
looking
get that
my,
linen
mine's
band.
22 right now.
You got the
It's
gold
20.
one, LB?
So
Oh,
I
it's
can't put
dead.
mine
Linen
up. Yeah,
band.
better.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I pulled up.
That linen band.
Actually, I did show my my.
Hey, appreciate
This
you,
is
Big House.
this is the Z Fold 4. I don't know if y'all can see that, but that's a Z Fold 4 right there. Almost 100
129.
gigs.
Yeah.
It's almost 100 gigs on my Z Fold 4.
See, that's what happens when you get everything in the damn phone. It takes up all your RAM.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Shit.
Yeah.
Man, I got so many holes, sir. This is on what? The
You
third?
got so many
look-
holes.
I got so many holes on this. Hey, that's right. I got so many holes, sir.
I got O's. I got O's.
Easy. What watches that you got on?
This is the 4, man. I didn't get the 5. I
Oh,
like
that's
the
should've got the
rotate
5.
bezel, man. I like the rotate bezel, man. I'm gonna hold on to mine.
He got good battery life with his 4.
I got good
I
battery
know
life.
my
I
4
couldn't,
classic.
man. It was killing me.
I got good battery life on my 4.
I don't know why everybody gets such inconsistent battery life. Because I got people saying that they got wonderful battery life with their iPhone. I couldn't. I literally.
You mean the Apple Watch?
I mean, yeah, the Apple Watch. I mean, I'm just now finding out what the whole sleep thing is, because my watch never lasted that long. So now,
Are you using
I'm able to do it with this.
You using the Fitbit thing, LB?
Oh, it came up? Oh no, that's a Z Fold. Okay.
Yeah,
because I know I have the Fitbit free for
it's almost
6
100
months,
gigs.
3 months. I think it was 6 months.
That's a damn shame, though. I ain't gonna lie to you. 100 gigs just for
Yes,
system.
Sterling.
That's terrible.
That's a fold. It's
Oh
100
hell yes!
100 gigs.
100
100 gigs,
bro. That thing is
bro. 100 gigs, bro.
So that
100.
That means
Samsung is
if you
keeping it
get a
100.
cheap, That means if you get a 256
You
model,
only
only
less.
getting 128 gigs.
That's it. That's all you get. If you get a 128, if you get the 128, you go get less than 100. You gonna get about 50 gigs. Yeah,
That's
it's
crazy.
terrible. Yeah, Samsung got to do something. Yeah, this is not a good look for Samsung. I mean, they're taking half the storage.
People are just now realizing that because
I know.
I never paid attention to it until recently. I think it was Carl's post that brought that to my attention. And I went back to check it, and I'm like, man, he's right. There's 60 gigs on that S23.
Tell him, Kimmy.
Yeah, and that's the thing about it. And listen, I made a video about it. I got it sitting in my members only. If you're members only, go check out the detailed video that I made about it. It's terrible. I laid up there and I went into details about what Samsung is doing. I got it. I got a video about it. It's
So get
crazy.
this. They give you a phone, 200 megapixel camera on it. So you know those pictures, if you take them at full resolution, they're killing.
But they're not taking it at full resolution. You have to specifically go into that mode to do it. Everything else should be bent down to 12.5 megapixels.
It is bent down.
So
I
don't think people are doing it, LB.
It's bent down, sir.
I mean, but no, it's not even Dex. You really? But
I think Trenton's joking on that one.
Yeah, I know because Dex was on the S8.
Yeah, I was about to say, Dex has been on there forever.
Yeah, I mean Dex been out Is it like the S8 or the S? Those devices had but they was at 128, right? Or 64 gigs or something, right?
They were 128.
128. I mean, we had at least 70, 80 gigs for the user for 128.
You didn't have one UI 5.
Oh, you didn't have one UI. Yes, right. You didn't have one UI 5. That's the problem. One UI 5 is full of whatever Samsung is doing. I just think it's poor optimization. Samsung going way back to when they used to throw so much stuff.
Yep.
They going way back, destroying all kinds of stuff in the kitchen sink. I don't know.
Outside of the S Pen features, I can do a lot more with my 7 Pro. On device.
On device, right? I mean, look, I use my Fold, for clients, using a pen for documentation and using Samsung Dex. But I mean, I can use Samsung Dex on my Note 8, on my Note 9. I mean, I can use Samsung Dex on that.
You're missing what my point is. My point is that on device, the 7 Pro, I can do a lot more on it outside of the S Pen features. Why is this at 60 gigs?
Because Samsung is screwing up. And listen, that's why we have to have an open dialogue about it. It's because we have to think about this. For a person that go spend $1,200 for a 128 8 gig model, and Samsung go take 60 gigs of it, it's leaving the end user with no space. That means that if you're going to use this phone for 4 years, 5 years, you done. You done. I mean, you done. You will run out of space in 6 months.
You gotta be using. You're gonna have to pay for that Google storage.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, here's the problem that I have. The problem is, and I have a lot of people hit me up and say, you know what, easy.
Gotcha, Jay. Gotcha.
It's all.
So you'll set it to 2. Okay.
Yeah, it's all about the end user, right? I always try to, we make a lot of videos about better bang for your buck. Jay will make videos about, you could get an out. This is your out, right? And I love those videos. You know why? It's because people don't understand what Jay will trying to let people know. Listen, this is your out. You don't want to spend $1,000. This is your out. And I love those videos. You know why?
Yeah.
It's because people don't, and a lot of people don't understand that perspective. It's because you don't have to spend $1,000 on a phone. You don't have to spend $2,000 on a phone. You could spend $300 on a phone, $200 on a phone, $400 on the phone and get a very good experience on it. A lot of people say, well, the cameras ain't gonna be better. Man, it's the user. I could get I'm telling you, I could pull out phones that cost $400 that could get good photos with. It's a user, man. If I could get if I could open up a camera app and get raw photos on a $200 phone or $300 phone, I can make that photo look good. I can make that photo look good. I promise you that, right? So I say that to say this. A lot of people buying hype. You're not buying the experience. You buying hype. You buying, and I think people need to come to a realization that when these people marketed this stuff and the bigger content creators selling this shit, what they buying is hype. That's all. Because you take the name away from it, and Samsung and Apple haven't won a blind camera test since forever. So you can't say the cameras are the top notch. They not winning. And Sony don't win blind camera tests because they focus on videographers, and so it's a different user. They don't focus on normal folk. They don't worry about that.
But I think, I think you've said that very well. But I think what you just said about Jay Will is great. Like, he takes an individual phone, right? And then he shows that he presents it, right? He's like, okay, this phone is for this person. If you don't want to spend, blah, blah, blah. The challenge that you have right now is you're saying a lot of stuff. Like, you're putting out what you might not personally like, right? But you have a struggle, right? Because you're saying all the, hey, we don't have to spend as much. But at the end of the day, you got the S23 Ultra in your cart.
But I haven't pulled the trigger on it.
I know, but I'm just saying. But you see what my point is, right? So like, are you trying to convince other people, or are you trying to convince yourself? Like, is it not worth it, or something like that? Because I think the S23 Ultra is a great thing. So is cameras not important to you? Because, or is it one of those things where you're like, I think the camera should be better because what I'm seeing, I'm not seeing that there's much of a difference between it and the S22 Ultra.
So what I'm looking at on the S23 Ultra, I look at the difference between what you're getting in return from the Galaxy S22 Ultra, right? I'm looking at that aspect. Galaxy S22 Ultra has been a great device.
Great device.
Overall, right? Overall, it's great. It's a fantastic device.
It's fantastic.
So I'm looking at the S23 that, okay, Samsung doing the TikTok. They really not really focused too much on delivering anything. Because truth to be so told, the 200 megapixel camera versus 108 megapixel camera, side by side, blind. If you take the name from it, that's the key. Take the name from it. 9 times out of 10, you won't see no difference. Mm-hmm. Especially if you post it on social media with the compressions and everything.
What would make you get this S23 Ultra? I should say.
What make me get the S23 Ultra? I think that if Samsung bought in more Samsung DeX features or more S Pen features, or maybe a 4K display, or 6,000 milliamp battery, or something like that, something more that that, because I just don't feel that it's worth spending $1,600 for, right? Because I'm not gonna buy the 128. I'm not gonna buy the 256. I gotta buy the 512. Now since Samsung can take it down to 100 gig from you off the rip, I mean, you can't buy nothing but the 256 or the 512. What will make me buy this is Samsung have to do something. Like after Samsung got rid of the Note 20, I just felt that Samsung hasn't done nothing since the Note 20. I mean, listen, think about the Note 10. The Note 10 had beautiful colors. Mm-hmm. Just absolutely awesome. I mean, it was a great device. It was a step forward into the right direction. The Note 20 came out. Then you started noticing, okay, Samsung is doing something a little different. Note 20 was a great device, right? Then they got rid of the Note. They said, you know what? We're not going to put a pin in the device, but we going to kind of convert it to the S series of the devices. But you got to buy the pin separately. Okay. But you just didn't feel that way. It just didn't feel like a Note. Mm-hmm. Then when the S22 came out, it brought back the Note features. It was a boxy shape. You got the S Pen features with the Bluetooth technology and everything else. I'm good with that. I can actually rock a S22 Ultra for years and I'm not even tripping. And so the reason why I'm kind of on the fence about the S23, the only reason why I get an S23 Ultra is because of YouTube. It's not because I want it personally. It's because I'm reviewing it. That's it. And that's my problem. What do I want to spend $1,500 on a device
just to review it?
Just to review it, and I'm not too fine about it. And so my thoughts.
So it's a struggle. It's
a struggle for
makes
me.
us the extreme niched minority.
It's a struggle for me. You know what I'm saying? When I'm sitting on 200 phones, and I could pick at least 90 phones out of 200. That's great. That makes me feel that companies are not doing what they need to do.
What is Mim saying? Then stop hating on the Apple's color science if it's on the.
Yeah, so Mim.
So I've been talking about. Do with the color science, Mims.
Yeah,
the color science is a color science.
It's a color science. Yeah, the only reason why I hate on Apple color science, and I've been talking about it for years. Mims always get in his feelings. He loses nuts and he grow a cat, right? And so what happened is Apple color science is not true to life. It'll take a white background and turn it gray. We've seen this a lot. It's nothing like yellow. Right? Apple color science is not true, and I'll talk about it. Listen, it's
outdoors. I agree, Jay. They are fire.
Yeah.
So to me, Pixel indoors, iPhone outdoors.
Yeah.
Unless you want to mess with the colors, right? If you got a static shot, set the white balance, you're good. But if you're moving around all that stuff.
Thank you very much. This is an amazing channel. Listen, make sure you follow everybody.
Hey, thank you, Michael.
Make sure you follow and subscribe to everybody. That's the whole key. I wouldn't be where I'm at right now if it went for these guys right here on this panel. I mean, they give me full support. Yeah, I do a lot of hard work, but they give me the support, and that's what I like. And y'all in the comments and stuff give me support too. So thank y'all.
Right.
I mean, if it went for y'all, I mean, we wouldn't be doing this every week, putting companies' feet to the fire. That's the thing. I see Mims always like to talk shit in the comments. You notice that? They always got links. He always got a link, but he like to get in the comments. He one of them keyboard warriors that's sitting in the basement, right? And he just,
wow. You gonna take that, man?
Yeah.
Bims, he said you a basement dweller, player.
I love my iPhone for sure. I use it use them daily, but outdoors, ouch.
Indoors, no. Outdoors,
indoors, ouch. I need to crank them lights up high. Yeah. I always like to mess with Bims. I know you get hype. You gonna come on Friday.
I don't have a problem with Apple's cameras. I just don't enjoy using their phone as a camera. I enjoy the Pixel more. And if I have to go after the Pixel, I'll go Samsung. And if I have to go after Samsung, I'll go I was about to say HTC. I'll go OnePlus, which ain't nothing but HTC reincarnated. Apple will probably be my last choice.
You in the basement right now. Hey.
That's what they shoot.
At least he ain't lying.
No, he in the basement.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think when you look at,
I haven't had a chance to use one of the like the Oppos and stuff that Barry and them been using.
Yeah, the Vivo and Xiaomi that ended.
So it's
that ended
OnePlus
iPhone video
10
for me.
Pro
I use that for
than-
everything.
Look, listen.
It depends on who what you experience. They're different phones. The OnePlus 11 is dope.
Yeah.
So like if you're a business user and you carry two phones, two SIMs, go ahead and pick up that 11.
Yeah, the 11 looks
Call it a
great.
day.
Looks dope, man. I like the 10 Pro. You know how the 10 Pro got a lot of heat. The people slam the 10 Pro. After Jerry Rig, everything snapped it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody on the planet, they went on Twitter and they just,
yeah.
my God.
Well, check this out. There are repercussions from that. D-Brand, like Jerry Rig didn't snap a US variant.
Mm-hmm.
D-Brand was like, hey, we're leasing one of the best D-Brand grip cases of all time.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to bring it for the 10 Pro. They flew a 10 Pro to Jerry Rig, a couple of them to Jerry Rig. He snapped it. And then they gave it to Marquez. He said, I'm confused. I think I'm the only one that bought the dang D-Brand grip case for the 10 Pro. And D-Brand hasn't come out publicly, but if you go to forums, they've told people, you can see with their info, we most likely will not come out with a case for the OnePlus 11. Yeah. Straight killed it. They killed D-Brand's profits and they killed that phone.
Yes, I'm getting the OnePlus 11. Absolutely. I'm loving the phone, man.
I'm getting to the point, like I told someone earlier, it's getting hard for me to justify paying.
It's hard to justify to pay over $1,000 with what and like I said, that's a good thing because we can big up the phones out there, but again, they're gonna have to lower their price because we're getting great performance out of these cheaper phones.
Yeah, and it's just I have to do it like you have to do it for the iPhone because it's 101. You can't compare it to nothing else.
Right.
And I'm always going to get the big boy, the flagship. So, okay, Apple gets me, but you ain't getting me twice. I'm not. It's just that's another reason why I'm not fast to go over to Samsung. I can get too much at $800.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the OnePlus right now. Best Buy.
I mean, if you look at
$599.
If you look at devices like the Pixel 7 Pro, that's been down in price to $749. If you look at the Pixel 7, the 6A, been on $299 forever, right? They go up and then it comes down, then they go up and it comes down. $299.
Just wait for a sale. I mean, that's hard to beat.
Then you have the Pixel 7 for like $400 and some change. I seen it out there for a little cheaper. Man, I mean, it's very difficult to pay $1,200 for 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs. When you got a device for $500 that's gonna give you awesome performance, best cameras in the game, everything else in between. Listen, I understand S Pen and Dex. I understand it. I could spend $200 to get a Note 10 and get Samsung Dex that will work great in S Pen performance. So that's what I'm saying. I could listen. I always make videos about this. I bring out old phones. A lot of people say, well, it's all about the processors. It's all about the processor. You name me one app in the App Store, in the Google Play Store that I can't play on my Note 10, on my Note 20, that won't play at high frame rates, that won't play excellent, that won't give me clarity, that won't slow down, that won't drop frames. And those devices cost $200, $300. That's what I'm saying. Like,
it's almost like Samsung just named this phone just a incremental.
People always talk about power. Man, we talk about a freaking app store. We talk about games in the app store. We talk about stuff in the app store. And listen, man, I could go and open up 20 apps or open up 20 web browsers and stuff like that and see what's going to be in the RAM and all that. Man, listen, man, the normal user not opening up 1,000 apps and not opening it up and see what's going to be in the RAM. What app is going to be open in the RAM and all that stuff like that? Nobody ain't doing that shit, man. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. This ain't no freaking MacBook or no Mac Studio or nothing like that. We talk about a smartphone, man. People open up a smartphone, go on Twitter and post videos and type up some shit and they close it out and they go home and that's it, man. I mean, tech enthusiasts need to get out of this phase of they think that the whole world does everything that a tech enthusiast does, and that's not the case. You need to go out and ask family members.
Yeah, I agree, Trent. The normal user
we got one thing I would have to say about this RAM thing. They have one condition that no matter how much RAM you have on your phone, if you run an app that's consuming a lot of RAM that like have memory leak, you can have a terabyte of RAM. Eventually, it's going to lock your phone up. So really, that's why I think they need to focus more on optimizing the software and making it so it could catch when stuff like this happens.
Well, maybe
but that's not really on the phone company. That's on the app developer.
That's on the app developer. But
the developers, the app developers, I mean, they install all that other junk on the phone. Then they could, especially like whenever you running, each manufacturer has their own twist on Android, so they could do that. I mean, look at that whole S Pen suite. That's almost embedded into the ROM.
Right. Yeah, that is.
So you can't extract that part out of it. So Samsung could have a better way of managing. I mean, and they do have a decent, suite of software, but putting all this memory on your phone to just make phone calls, I mean, that still come down to 10 gigs of memory, 700 gigs of memory. If you running apps on your phone, you have viruses and stuff on your phone, it's gonna consume the memory and lock it up anyway.
But the problem,
maybe that's just having better educated consumers.
But see, here's the thing. I just want everybody to understand this: that we as tech enthusiasts is one thing. Average consumers have woke up. Let me give you some statistics. I already made a video about this. Right. 5.2% of 3.3 billion active Android users is on Android 13, right? Listen, 18% of 3.3 billion users is actively on Android 12 or 12L. Guess where the rest of the 50% of the users on? Android 11 and below. You know what that says? That people rocking phones till their wheels fall off.
I don't think that's necessarily the case. I don't think that's the case. I think what it is,
if a company's not pushing updates,
they're not. Yeah, I don't think they're pushing updates. I think what it is people are buying. It's sort of like we have to give up that the S23 Ultra is a bad boy. It's a great phone, right? But that's not the average consumer is not going to buy that phone. Like we will in the chat and all that stuff. We might be like, oh man, that's a dope phone. I might call LB. It's like, man, that S23 Ultra is dope, right? But people are buying low cost, and what is low cost?
Exactly.
They're buying. It could be something that's in Metro PC. They might get a Unihertz, and that manufacturer is probably not going to update because they're not. The profit margin for them to worry about having a team test out the next version of Android is too high.
I know, but that brings in that point. Then that means that people looking at cost saving.
Correct. I agree.
Right, cost saving.
I agree. That's the reason why I asked you, Easy. I said, what is it about the S23 Ultra that you wouldn't buy?
Right.
Me and you can look at. You see what I'm saying? Because we know the average is not like Trenton is getting that S23 Ultra. Trenton's not the average consumer. The average consumer is really in a different price bracket. And that's why I said it's great to celebrate these small wins that the average consumer is getting, because
that's a fact,
as more people buy these cheaper phones, it's going to force the Samsungs to lower their price.
So if you look at the percentage wise, right? And I've been doing my research about this. About close to 50% of 3.3 billion people that's buying or holding on to older devices, right? Or buying older devices at a low cost between $200 and $300 with older operating system, which is Android 11 or Android 10. What that says is you absolutely right. The Samsungs in the industry have to look at this and say, hey, listen, people ain't spending this type of money on your devices. I mean, listen, the numbers don't lie, right? So the numbers don't lie when it comes down to, the average user that's on the Android ecosystem is running older operating systems. That means that they running older devices, whether or not they got it for free or Metro PCS, whether or not they paid $10 or $15 for the device, because they do those type of promos, right? If you got it on the third party company like Mint Mobile or something like that, they say, listen, we'll get your family of 4 free phones, $50 a month, unlimited everything. These will be old devices or whatever. And guess what? They can still go on social media. They can still play all the games they want. They can still take decent photos. They can still do everything needed to want. That brings up the Android Google situation. But we talk about,
it's not always. So give you an example. I'm about to trade this in. One of the smoothest phones I have, period. OnePlus 8, just smooth as butter. And if I go to my system update, because I was about to, before I decided to trade this in, I was about to put a custom ROM on it. This is a phone that I did not buy from Verizon. It is the Verizon, they call it the Verizon Unlock variant. And Verizon I want to say about a year ago, was like, guess what? You can't update that phone. And they locked it down. This is running Android 11. In this household, we run 13 or better, period, on all the phones. And this is the only one that's stuck with 11, right? And that wasn't Google. It's Verizon said we're not updating. We're not gonna. This, we've already sold that phone. We could care less if it better stay on something that we know. We're not gonna get any surprises. I don't need you calling us all hours of the night talking about your phone ain't working.
But like Apple does have a lot of control over the carriers, right?
They have all the control.
But do you think that Google needs to step in and start having a little more control over the carriers also, especially in the United States?
How are they going to do that easy?
Right.
Like you make it act like that's the easiest thing to do.
Isn't it on the silicon designers too to allow it to happen?
That's a big fight.
Remember Qualcomm locked it down. You got maybe 2 years.
I know.
And then Google fought for it, and
that's what I'm saying. Google is we talk about Google for Christ's sakes. We ain't talking about.
Eric, come on, Eric. Google pushed out the shit to what is it? Get Hurt or Get what?
Get Up,
what
yeah.
Is it? Yeah, Get Hurt.
Yeah.
And that's where everybody gets it from, and that's where the end of it. It's up to the carriers after that.
The carriers and the manufacturer. They have to partner together.
Right.
But when we talk about this though, but Apple say, when Apple push out iOS,
Apple controls the whole thing.
They're not going to OEMs. They're not going to OEMs.
That's a wall.
So it would be just like if me and you we're like, hey, we have 500 million. We're going to start a cell phone company. We're not Apple. We can't compete with that, right? So what we do? What is the cheapest version of Android that the development tools are cheaper and all that stuff? And we might look, and it could be Android 11. We probably will go with that to start off. That's what happens out here.
I just think that I understand that Google is. I understand that Apple does have full control over.
Also, too, you also have to think of this easy. This OnePlus 8 is smooth as butter, right? It's a OnePlus 8. The 8 Pro was the one that had their cameras. This one wasn't really about cameras, right? If I'm Verizon, do I want my Samsung S20 updated? Or do I want someone to get updates on their one?
Right.
They're not. They don't want it. What's the incentive for Verizon to support this? Like, hey man, you just buy the cheaper phone. They're gonna focus on the ones that are gonna be the big bucks offering, right?
And that's the monopoly that we got going.
That's the thing, exactly. And the thing that we have to do is we have to have these discussions. Yeah. We have to have people listen in the chat so we can all participate. Because the more we talk about it, and the more we have situations, and we direct our money to different places, it will change. Yeah. Google can't do it all by they might be a big company, but they're fighting a lot of other big companies as well. Yeah. And it's not just Google. Go ahead.
I'm about to say, my whole thing about this, I always said many times is, I say manufacturers, they should at least, hey, if once you hit the end of end of support, they should just allow you to unlock the bootloader and install whatever you want on.
Oh no! So Savage, the average consumer. Problem. So I was going to do that. I was gonna take back my phone. I paid for this phone. I didn't pay for Verizon. I didn't buy it from Verizon, right? So I was gonna do that, but I'm trading it in. I'm just gonna flash it.
Oh yeah. So if you flash the run, but a lot of I know Samsung for one, they making it incredibly hard to root their phones to unlock the bootloader.
Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is, even if Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T doesn't, send out OS updates, I believe the security patches is something that it's 50 megabytes.
Yeah, so I'm my security patch. I'm good.
Right.
But the thing is, the way I roll, I don't want to be. I want to have the latest.
Exactly. But I think
version.
When you talk about the security patches, right? We had an all-time high of hackers and everything else in between. I mean, it really put a lot of people at risk. Now, statistics says that over 1 billion Android users is not getting security patches. And I think when you look at, and that's worldwide, by the way, if you look at that, I think at what point that Google need to step in, because Apple don't have that problem, right? Apple don't have that problem when it comes down to security patches, because obviously it's a locked ecosystem. But we got open source and everything is open and everything, I just believe that Google need to say, hey, listen.
So you got phones that don't have security? Because even this is up to date on the security patch on Oneplus 8, even though it was on the 11.
Overall, when I did my research for the video I made.
I'm easy. I trust. I'm just saying, are you personally impacted? Like, are some of your phones?
Absolutely. I got about 200 phones. I got at least 100 of them. I ain't gonna say 100, maybe 80 of them or 70 of them that don't get no more security patches. Yeah, I got at least 80 phones that don't get security patches no more. Right? I mean, you're talking from the S8, the S7s and stuff like that. They don't get security patches no more. Those phones.
Big Moody said time for Google to close and lock the shit down.
Yeah, S9.
And that's
no more.
When, every time I'm like, man, I have not been happier with a smartphone camera. The Origin OS is probably one of the smoothest OS that you can get there, even though it's a Chinese variant. The last thing I think when I pick up this Vivo X90 Pro Plus is, man, you know what? Google needs to shut that shit down and close the doors and just blow the whole build.
I'm cool.
I'm not having an issue.
But you know what? For everybody that didn't watch my video, I made a complete video detailing and going through every statistics about what's going on with Android. I made a complete Android video. So if you didn't watch that video, go on my YouTube channel and check it out. I did my research and I did a video about So
you feel like the people in this chat are not going to be impacted though, right? If you're
taking
y'all ain't gonna have an issue.
Like they're not gonna have issues.
And if you're concerned, hey,
put your friend,
put your friend in a Pixel 6a. You good?
Your friends, and your mama, your dad gonna have.
Put them in a Pixel 6a and you good.
Your auntie gonna have an issue.
Put them in a Pixel 6a and you good.
Those people, your friends and
put them in a Pixel 6a and the conversation is moot.
That's
how you tackle it.
For tech enthusiasts, we fine because
we fine, and our people are fine because if we're tech enthusiasts, we'll say, hey, if I'm really worried about this, you get a Pixel 6a. Oh, you got a little bit of trade in? Here's $100 off of your $299. They should be able to get that.
Hey, I just want to point this out. Google can't close the system because their hands are in too many pieces.
Yeah.
And if they close the system, then they got to fight off a monopoly lawsuits left and right. So that's the reason why they're never going to close off the system, because from the way that they're constructed with Google Play, with the storage and everything else, if they tried to close the system off, the government would come after them, especially the
I see. I see where you're going, Big Moody. Big Moody's like, forget these other companies. Google just he's like, take notes, let you close it.
Future, right? I thought Future was the operating.
No, he ain't talking about Future.
No,
he's talking about we keep Android. Guess what? You make your own stuff.
Like, Google have their own.
Google's like, we know this weekend Android 14 will be on one of LaShawn and Barry's devices.
Yeah,
we got our stuff together.
But before we leave, think about this.
Here's the thing, Google, Android is just a pathway drug for Google. So Google makes all their money off the extensions of Android.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's why they're never going to close it down, because it's just the pathway drug.
Right.
You know,
I think. I was just gonna say. I think Android. If Google want to, they own the SDK, they own the API, they own everything about Android, and they can make their own version, a stripped down version of Android. They kind of doing it with Pixel anyway.
ASOP.
Yeah, that's what they saw.
That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what Android could be just as restricted as Apple.
But see, they make money off of licensing fees. They can't do it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, the only one thing that we're missing though, right? It's sort of like the whole thing with Windows, right? Windows has to support a lot of different hardware.
Baby can.
And also, Android have been locking things down too. They was not the same Android from 2011. Back then, you could do a lot of stuff. Android has changed a lot, and it is inching closer to Apple. I mean, well, I keep saying Apple. Android is getting closer and closer to that walled garden, and it's getting harder.
It's not the walled garden.
Nah. They gonna have
it. This dude just got an iPhone. He's starting to fall in love.
Look, hang on a second. That walled garden you're talking about, Savage, is 2 fence posts with a gate. You can just walk around that.
They didn't even have a gate.
With a no trespassing sign on the gate.
Yes,
that's what I'm talking about.
I'm not saying that it's gonna be a total Apple like Fort Knox. It's becoming. Hey, it's a sign that say keep out.
Yeah, it's just a sign.
I mean, it might attract more adversaries, but they just have to work to make the thing feel.
Look like we're gonna continue this conversation next week, y'all. Because you know what, we at the top of the hour, and you know what, don't forget about tomorrow. We got Ike gonna be streaming. I'm gonna have my podcast tomorrow. We got TKB in there. They gonna do their thing. And don't forget about Holla at Your Boy Friday,
Friday night ignorant. We getting ignorant, y'all.
This Friday, so don't forget about Saturday.
Make sure you try to become a member so y'all can catch the ignorancy.
I'm curious though. What is Michael Pepper talking about? What do they do with Nest and Wi-Fi? I don't understand what he's saying.
I don't know what he's talking about either. What's wrong with the Nest Wi-Fi?
What's wrong with Nest Wi-Fi?
I think he just said that ever since Google, I'm just saying that ever since Google bought Nest, that they kind of made it so it's proprietary. They made it a little harder to.
Yeah, but I want to know what he's meaning with Nest Wi-Fi.
Because the Nest Wi-Fi and the Nest cameras are still wide open. I can use those on Alexa.
Yeah, I'm Michael. Can you explain? Because you just dropped a bombshell. I had Google, the first generation Google Wi-Fi, and I also have the Nest Wi-Fi Pro right now. So I'm very confused what you're saying there.
He might be typing.
I'm just thinking that he's talking about they probably took, because I do know like DJI crap is not as good on iOS than it is on Android.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with Google locking nothing down.
Yeah, I would like to know what he says about Nest Wi-Fi. I'm very confused.
They changed it. I don't know.
Don't forget about Sunday. We got
Sunday. We have El Jefe.
We got El Jefe Sunday. Then Monday, T gonna be on deck. T will be on
deck. Lulu, Juan will be
and then Tuesday, don't forget about.
He was still trying to find his voice.
Oh, that's right. T is sick. That's right.
T sick. And don't forget about Tuesday. We gonna have
Gigi.
Yeah, you got it.
Gigi gonna be in the building Tuesday, and we gonna be right back here Wednesday. All right, y'all. We gonna get out of here. Thank y'all guys very much. I mean, I don't know if Michael Pepper's still typing. He like to type a whole message, man. But just send it to the DMs, bro. Send it to the DMs. We gonna read it.
We're gonna talk about it tomorrow night.
Yeah. Well, the Friday night they might talk about
Friday night, maybe.
Yeah. Oh no, he live streamed too. Yep.
Are you live?
Not me. I'm not gonna be live. I got my podcast, but he might be live.
I might have to catch that one because I'm not seeing what he's talking about.
Yep. All right, y'all. We out.